Hello and welcome to Smaulgld's People's Bank of China's Gold Reserve Update for the month of April 2017. Well, again, the People's Bank of China did not add gold to its reserves. People's Bank of China, not China, halts gold purchases. People's Bank of China had no gold to reserves in April. Their gold reserves stand at 1,842.6 tons, which is the same as October 2016. So the amount of gold that the People's Bank of China has on its balance sheet as of the end of April is the same as it was for October. However, the People's Bank of China's foreign reserves rose for the third month in a row, up another 20.45 billion in April to well over $3 trillion. China also reported a trade surplus in April. But don't get the misimpression from this that Chinese gold demand is down or that the People's Bank of China is lying about their gold reserves. We're going to go through, we do this all the time, but I've got some more charts and some more stories that show there's a big difference between the People's Bank of China and China. People's Bank of China is the Central Bank of China. China is the country, and clearly there's more gold mined, more gold imported, more gold traded, more gold owned in China than there is on the People's Bank of China's balance sheet. Let's go through it. Here is the chart of the People's Bank of China's gold reserves, and as you can see, they're stuck at 1,842 tons. Now, when they first started announcing their gold reserves publicly back in June 2015, for about a year, they were adding at a very healthy pace. Like another chart here. Again, you can see these all better at the Smaulgld website. You can check out the charts. They're a lot clearer. I'll put a link below. So here you can see when they first announced their gold in June of 2015, they steadily went up. Every month, they were adding gold at a furious pace, announcing it every month. Now they announce it every month, but they basically announced that they're not adding any more gold. Now remember, back in 2015, I had written an article, it got republished in Zero Hedge, that talked about the case of China's missing gold. And basically it said that the gold that everyone is saying China has, China does have. China has it in the form of the people have it, their sovereign wealth fund have it, other banks in China have it. Remember, they're all state-owned. It's just that the People's Bank of China doesn't necessarily have it. However, because it is a state-run economy, all that gold can be rolled up for whatever reason, if it needed to be, into the People's Bank of China. But there's really no reason for it to all be there, so it's elsewhere in the country. And actually, there was another article that I had found written in a Chinese language newspaper that said China's president confirms practice of moving official reserve assets to other entities in China. Well, official reserve assets include gold, so that gold is not on the People's Bank of China's balance sheet. Now, the foreign reserves are now heading back up, as you can see here. They're just starting, it's hard to tell, but they are moving up. But remember, the foreign reserves of China, just like the gold, doesn't represent all of China's foreign reserves, all of the assets, of China. They're just what's on the People's Bank of China's balance sheet. But let's take a look at where all that other gold is. But well, before that, let's look at the holdings of U.S. Treasuries. Now, China had been selling down not just Treasuries, but all of they sold over $1 trillion of foreign reserves. They're steadily building that back up slowly. And it looks like their bottom in selling of U.S. Treasuries may have happened in January of this year, because in February they moved up, and now Chinese holdings of U.S. Treasuries are at the highest level since October of 2016. Now, it could be that the U.S. has worked out a deal with China and that China will start buying treasuries again. I wouldn't doubt it. The two have significant trade amongst each other. I know the people in the gold community like to present this hostile view that China is trying to kill the dollar and is trying to dump treasuries and acquire gold. I'm sure there's some truth to that, but I don't think it all happens at once. And I think that China will start increasing its U.S. Treasury holdings. Plus, they're now on sale. I mean, the Fed has raised interest rates. That lowers the price of the bonds, it raises the effective price of the yield. So China will probably buy more treasuries. They might not go back up to where they were, but I think they might add more treasuries. And eventually they'll probably start adding gold again. But here's the real story. So forget the People's Bank of China. That's not a proxy for Chinese gold. Look at Hong Kong. Last month, 111 tons imported in March. I don't have the April data yet, but remember March, the People's Bank of China added no gold, but 111 tons came into the country through Hong Kong, and we don't even know what comes in through Shanghai and the other ports. So clearly gold is flowing into China at a very rapid rate. Look at that. That's a lot of gold going into China. China, we assume, is still producing tremendous amounts of gold. They're doing gold discoveries, and last year they did a record 453 tons of gold were brought directly out of the mines in China. And again, it didn't all end up on the People's Bank of China's balance sheet. Look at Shanghai Gold Exchange so far this year. Last year, 2,000 tons were withdrawn from the Shanghai Gold Exchange. We should have April's numbers tomorrow or later on this week. They're very strong for the first few months of the year. So Chinese gold demand is indeed strong. It just does not ending up on the People's Bank of China's balance sheet. Now here you go. Here's three recent stories. Chinese buyers snap up gold bars amid fears of war, falling yuan, and property slump. So even individuals are buying gold hand over fist in China. Chinese demand for gold bars and coins soars in the first quarter, and lower gold prices bolster gold demand. Premiums rise in India and China. So we're clearly seeing a demand for gold in China. It's just not at the People's Bank of China because they're running their own centrally planned economy. What they have on the balance sheet, what their foreign reserves are, that is not the snapshot of the entire country. That about does it. As I mentioned, we should have Shanghai Gold Exchange later this week. I expect those numbers to be very strong as well. Please remember to subscribe to Smaulgld. We're up to 706 subscribers on the blog post, and on the blog site, and I believe we're at about 1,740 on the YouTube channel. So please subscribe there. Please don't consider donating. Please donate to Smaulgld via Bitcoin or PayPal, or become a patron on Patreon. All the links are below and on the website. Thank you very much.